We've done a lot of movie-based games, and prior to doing Scarface-the-World-is-yours, we did The Thing and Chronicles of Riddick: Escape from Butcher Bay. And I think every time you're starting out with a movie-based game, you sort of start out with one arm tied behind your back because there's just a perception that movie-based games suck. And, look, the reason why I like working on movie-based games, and that's pretty much all we've done in the last 6 years, is because, it's a challenge to us that we view, adapting games from other mediums as a challenge and a fun challenge. And we're really lucky to work with Universal, who, whether it was The Thing or Riddick or Scarface, will always allow us to take risks and chances to create better games. Yeah, I think one of the important things for us when doing Scarface as an open world game is that not only do we have all the locations, if there's a location from the film, it's in the game, whether it be, the mansion or, the Coconut Grove outdoor bar area or the Babylon Club or the Sunray Motel or Sosa's Mansion, and that list goes on and on and on. Not only do you get to go and see those places, but you understand the relationship, the distance between one another. And so by seeding all of those location-based stuff and then adding all of these characters that are also from the film or referenced from the film, we're allowed to create a new, different extension of that Scarface universe. Tony says, all I have in this world are my balls and my word, I don't break them for nobody. And so we took that idea of, intestinal fortitude, and the more, strategic you are in terms of how you shoot and use combat, the more balls you get. When your balls meter is full, you're allowed to go into blind rage. And what we do in blind rage is, it came from that idea of Tony's on the top of the balcony at the last scene. He's all coked up. He's fucking pissed off. He's shooting everybody. That blind rage of just sheer, like he's unstoppable. He's getting hit by bullets and nothing stops him. And we wanted to put that into the game as a major gameplay element, not just as a little niche thing, but as a major component. So when the player finally builds his balls up, goes into blind rage, several things happen. One, we jump into first person. That's a drastic change for most open world games. In addition to that, we make the player completely invulnerable. We give him unlimited ammunition with whatever gun he's holding at the time. And then we allow the player to shoot people and gain health for each person they kill. I think one of the things that when you're looking at this big open world, it's got to feel alive. And one of the things that Tony gets to do as he goes through the game is he buys, different businesses and operations. He can buy, the pawn shop and the record shop and hotels. And as he's accumulating properties and taking over turfs, eventually he has to do distribution missions where he drops off, takes cocaine, runs it in on a boat from the island, avoids the pirates trying to steal his money and his drugs. Then he's got to get into the port of Miami and avoid the Coast Guard, sort of stealthily navigating between the Coast Guard boats so he can bring the drug supply into his warehouse. Once he gets to the warehouse, he then is allowed to do a distribution mission where he drives all the way through Miami, dropping off stuff at each front. The one trick to that is, as he's doing that, other gangs or other rival drug lords will attack Tony's turfs. And so we allow the player to go in and fortify each turf. They can buy surveillance cameras so that they're alerted to the fact that their front is getting attacked. They can go in and hire up to 5 or 6 different goons that protect that turf. So if your turf is getting attacked and you're on the middle of a $15 million drug distribution run, you have to make a decision. Do I go save that turf? Or do I, let it get taken over? And it's about that strategic play balance. And that's something that we tried to do because it's like you haven't seen it in an open world before. One of the key differentials between Scarface and other open world games is that in Scarface, one of the things that we took out of was the load time. When you want to walk in and out of different establishments, in other open world games, there's always been that little pause of load. So you have a 50-hour game experience and like 10 of it is taken up by loading in and out of buildings. Scarface, you walk seamlessly in and out of buildings. We don't have that load time. We wanted to get rid of that going back there methodology of gameplay, which is really just about, trying to add time to your overall play experience. Fuck that. We wanted you to get in the limo and be like, I own a store. I can get taken to any store I own. You can buy the float plane, and the float plane will automatically transport you to any dock in the entire open world, whether it be in the city or in the islands, and you can fly back and forth, and it's a quick boom. There's just a quick load, and then boom, you're there. We don't make the player have to run around and drive there. Why? Because it's not being Tony Montana that way. If you want, a gun upgrade, you just pick up your satellite phone. If after you buy the arms dealer, you get a menu. What would you like to buy? You purchase whatever you want. Then you want to get it transported to you. You just call one of your drivers. He brings you a car. You pop open the trunk. There's all your ammunition. There's all your weapons. You can trade them in and out of the trunk. It's all about having the world come to Tony, as opposed to Tony being the bitch of the world. We want to make sure that that experience that we're giving to the player is about gameplay and the fun of gameplay, and not having to do the ridiculous driving back and forth missions.